I'm a clinical psychologist and I've worked in private practice for 9 years before working for A21 now as Global Aftercare Director. So I read a lot of trauma stories each day of survivors who have been rescued from trafficking, and there's all different types of trauma that people experience, and trauma is our response to a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. And at the extreme end, we've got things like trafficking and genocide and experiencing rape, but then death and grieving the loss of a loved one, divorce, they're traumas as well that we go through. And trauma, it can feel overwhelming. It can affect our thoughts, how we view ourselves, how we view others, the world. Suddenly the world doesn't seem like a safe place anymore when maybe it felt safe before. Often our assumptions about the world and ourselves and even God are shattered when we go through a traumatic experience. It affects our emotions. There can be intense fear, helplessness, hopelessness, anger. It can be a very lonely, extremely isolating experience because it can feel like no one gets this. Is there anyone else who understands this? And so it can be extremely isolating. And so there's different types of coping with trauma and with pain, and we look at emotion-focused coping, which is actually recognising how am I feeling. It's processing those emotions in a healthy way by talking with safe people, going to counselling, journaling. There's solution-focused coping, which is looking at, okay, what do I need to do to just keep on functioning? I've got 3 boys to look after. I can't just stay in bed and cry all day. So I've got to get up and feed these children and do the washing. So that's the solution-focused coping. And then there's avoidant coping as well. So avoidant coping is when it's like, this is too much. I just need to avoid it all and maybe drown my sorrows in drinking, or it could be shopping, or gambling, or everyone's got their different thing. And so research tells us that combining both solution-focused coping and emotion-focused coping are healthier responses to grief and trauma. So it's looking at, I need to process these emotions. I can't bury them down. And one symptom of trauma and of post-traumatic stress disorder is actually avoidance. So avoidance of wanting to think about the event, avoidance of places and people that remind you of the experience. It's like, that's too much for me. I don't go there. And so it's very understandable why people develop avoidance symptoms. But we do need to process those emotions in a healthy way, and seeing a good counsellor or therapist can help do that.
Hi everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload. Thanks for being a part of our Better Together community.